Protocol Zero, Part 2. The Terran Empire's projected image was the greatest deception in galactic history. Their mercy, their rules of war, their diplomatic overtures, it was all a mask worn to hide the brutal, merciless predator that lurked beneath. The tech they shared was generations old, not just for security, but because it was all the other races could handle without destroying themselves. Protocol Zero was the order to drop the mask. In the GCE capital, Zarthus was growing uneasy. The silence persisted. His intelligence officers reported no fleet movements. No buildup on the border, it was illogical. Then the reports started trickling in. A deep space listening post gone silent. A border patrol squadron vanished without a distress call. A mining colony on a remote moon, suddenly offline. Still no sign of the Terran fleet. The first visual came from the GCE's primary starbase in the Hydra system. The station commander was in the middle of a frantic report when the view screen behind him dissolved into screaming chaos. Before the feed cut, Zarthus saw it, not a warship. A single figure, clad in form-fitting, non-reflective black armor, moving faster than any biological being should. It held a simple weapon, a solid slug rifle, a primitive design by galactic standards, but it was firing with impossible accuracy. And then Zarthus saw the figure tear a GCE soldier in half with its bare hands. The panic began. The attackers were not ships. They were individuals, boarding GCE vessels not with transports but with personal teleportation devices, a technology the Terrans were not supposed to possess. They bypassed shields, materializing directly onto bridges and in engineering bays. They were dubbed Phantoms. They were Terran Spec Ops, the true inheritors of the Death World, each one a one-man army, honed by gravity that would crush a GCE soldier, breathing air that would dissolve their lungs, and trained in a savagery that the Concordants couldn't even comprehend. Their advanced tech, the tech the Empire hoarded, made them gods of war. Zarthus watched in horror as his empire began to unravel from the inside out. His fleets were useless, waiting in formation for a battle that would never come. His starbases were being gutted by ghosts. His chronoton torpedoes were useless against single soldiers who could appear and disappear at will. He had kicked the anthill, not realizing the ants were dragons. The end came for Zarthus in his own command center. The lights flickered and died, replaced by the hellish red glow of emergency lighting. The blast doors, rated to withstand a torpedo impact, were peeled open like a tin can. 3 Phantoms stepped through the breach. They were larger than the average Terran, their armor humming with contained power. They moved with a fluid grace that was utterly terrifying. The guards in the room opened fire, their plasma bolts splashing harmlessly against invisible kinetic barriers. The Phantoms didn't even bother to raise their rifles. They closed the distance in a blur. Zarthus could only watch in abject terror as his entire command staff was dispatched with brutal, intimate efficiency. A crushed throat, a snapped spine, a fist through a chest plate. It was over in seconds. The lead Phantom stopped before Zarthus's command throne. It reached up and removed its helmet. The face beneath was human, a woman's. Her features hardened by a life Zarthus couldn't imagine. Scars traced patterns across one cheek. They were empty, void of cold purpose. "High Executor Zarthus," she said, her voice calm. "You wanted to see the Terrans without their starships, without their shields." She leaned in close, her voice dropping to a whisper. "We are not strong because of our technology. Our technology exists to protect you from us." Before Zarthus could scream, her hand shot out, and his world went black. Moments later, a message was broadcast on every frequency across the entire galactic Concordance Empire. It was the face of Grand Admiral Kalen Vance. Behind him was an image of Terra. Not the manicured gardens of the official portraits, but a swirling vortex of storm-ridden continents and boiling, acidic seas. "To the people of the Concordance," Vance's voice boomed, devoid of any warmth. "Your leaders are dead. They chose to wage war against our civilians. They chose to murder our children. This was their folly. They believed we adhered to rules out of weakness. The truth is, we adhere to rules to restrain a nature you cannot comprehend. The Terran Empire is a cage we built for ourselves. Your leaders have broken that cage. The war is over. Your unconditional surrender is not requested, it is a fact. Comply and you will live. Resist and you will learn, as your leaders did, that it was never our technology you should have feared." The message ended, leaving the GCE population staring at the image of the true Terra, finally understanding. They had not poked a sleeping giant. They had taunted a caged god, and in their arrogance they had just thrown away the key. Thanks for watching. Like, share, follow, or drop a comment.